Well, it's a day later. This has dried out, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the masking tape off of the instrument. And again, it didn't require a lot of strength or clamping. It just needed to be held down while it dried. And what we're going to do is we're going to tighten the strings here and see how it responds. So I've almost got all the tape off already, off of the instrument. So it's not perfect looking. There's some spots down here where some of the tape stuck. It's okay. It's okay. It's going to save us another $65 or more to replace it. Now, what I'm going to do is apply string tension again. So with a slotted bridge, you have your strings tied in. In a perfect situation, if this was your own instrument, you would probably just replace the strings at this point. But again, it's a school and finances are always an issue. So what we're going to do is make sure that everything is set up here. And what I do is I keep my finger on the headstock as I wind up. And then again, I use my Jawum Smart Tuner. You could use a string winder as well. This just makes it pretty easy, and I press the up button, which is going to make sure that the string goes in the right direction. And I'm going to increase the tension here. Now, it's went into the wrong nut slot, which is easy enough to fix. Just slide it over. And at some point here, I'll know that I have to start playing. It's going to be a while. Somewhere around there. That actually says it's just higher than a G right now, which is fine. These strings are going to be unstable for a while once you've loosened them like this. All right, we'll do the C string next. So I'll drop that in. That's in. And then I'm going to hold this up here as we tighten it. Here we go. And eventually I have to play the string to make sure I'm not tightening it too much. There's our G. Okay, G and C. Now we're going to put in the E string. The A is kind of caught up in there, so I'll get the E string separated out and see what we have to do up here. Sometimes when you've loosened your strings, you've got to work with the top because it's not exactly stuck in correctly. So a lot of times I will do an extra loop around on the top just to make sure that we're in the right spot. In a worst case scenario, if you don't have enough string left over, you might have to use a new string. We're going to try to avoid that here if we can. So I need to sort of reverse this up here so it rewinds around. I think we're good. All right, here we go. Winding up. And the yellow string sort of got underneath there, so I just have to pop it into the right spot. We've got our E string on, and now we're going to do our A string. Make sure that it just goes into the slot. Sometimes you have to wind up the strings a little bit before they'll act appropriately, but this one looks like it's going to be okay. There's enough of the string on the tuner. I hold my thumb on there so that it's winding from the bottom up. That makes sure that the break angle on the nut is as good as possible. And now we'll just keep fine-tuning it. I'm not going to do that all in this video, but we've got our G string, C, E, So one more time, G. You can see how much it detunes almost immediately. Even with strings that are used, they continue to stretch. All right, now the question is, how is the instrument holding this tension? And right now it's pretty good. Now I might have to take some sandpaper here and work on this edge because this is uncomfortable on my arm down here. So I might have to work on that a little bit and smooth that out because some of the JB Weld leaked out underneath the tape, which is fine. Again, we're trying to save it. And then there is a little bit of that glare residue on the instrument, which again is okay because again, we're in the process of trying to save the instrument rather than to have to replace it. But it's not loose. And this one was a little loose at the bottom when a student dropped it just at the right spot, and that was enough just to pop it the rest of the way. But it is definitely holding. There's no like give on the seam. The JB Weld is doing its job. And this instrument, once it's holding its tuning, will be ready to be put back into service. So that's a look at how I'm repairing these flight TSLs when they break. In our district, we bought 640 of these, and I have had to repair about 10 of them. So it's not a massive problem. Again, a slight redesign of the bracing on the inside, especially around the edges, would make a difference and make that even less common. But it's relatively simple enough to do. It just, affects the aesthetics just a touch, but not bad. I mean, that's not awful considering how many students are using these and playing with them. And you can see the only other thing is that your frets that are painted wear off. I don't worry about it too much, but you could get automotive paint and touch up. I have no need to do that for what we're doing. And the good news is you can see that the paint is really worn off here where my students are strumming where they're supposed to strum. So I like to see that too. So thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more uke stuff for you.